In Dark Reign, All New Savage She-Hulk, Lyra has come from Earth 8009 on a mission that will hopefully save the United Sisterhood Republic. You see, the Sisterhood faces extinction, so now Lyra has come to this time period seeking Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn confronts her in the Iron Patriot suit as he's backed up by the Dark Avengers. Norman tells Navarre to go take care of Lyra. When Navarre asks why, Norman simply tells him it's because you haven't impressed me lately. Navarre deploys this stasis field that sucks Lyra in and acts like a pocket battlefield. Navarre compliments Lyra on her beauty, but he tells her that resistance is useless. Navarre tells Lyra he's of Kree descent, and the Kree are not unknown to Lyra. Lyra tells him that one day, Earth men will make slaves of his kind. She goes on to state that eventually they'll all be stripped of their superpowered DNA and everybody will have superpowers. This will ultimately lead to the destruction of all. But Navarre tells Lyra she's confusing him with someone that actually gives a fuck. Navarre tries to blast Lyra, but Lyra dodges and grabs his arm and then attempts to break it. But apparently this motherfucker Navarre is triple jointed as he knees Lyra in the face and then pulls out a scythe and tries to go in on Lyra. But as Lyra fights Navarre, she thinks back to Earth 8009. You see, Lyra was always persecuted as a child for being different, but Lyra is a lot older and a lot stronger now. Navarre tries to throw hands with Lyra, but Lyra easily beats that ass. Osborn tells Daken to go see what's taking so long, but as Daken enters the stasis field, he sees Navarre getting his ass beat. But luckily, that does distract Lyra long enough for Navarre to incapacitate her with toxin stored under his fingernails. A bitch move from a bitch boy. As Lyra lays on the floor incapacitated, she thinks back to Earth 8009. You see, Lyra had been sent on a mission to grab a vital component that would repair the cradle, which is a vital piece of technology from the Sisterhood Republic. The cradle is essential to the Sisterhood. Without it, new sisters are not viable. But in the middle of the mission, one of Lyra's so-called comrades attempts to assassinate her and take the glory for herself. When the AI Boudica asks why, as Lyra is on a mission from Genosha, the sister tells Lyra that Genosha is the one that ordered her assassination to begin with. But as this sister attempts to kill Lyra once and for all, Lyra socks this bitch in the jaw and incapacitates her. But unfortunately, the component they needed for the cradle got broken in the scuffle, and now all the savage male tribes are on Lyra's ass. The savage male tribes chased Lyra for 8 days straight, all the way to the gates of Malago. But Malago lay at the bottom of a great lake that was surrounded by a black bloom, which was a symbiote-like substance. Over time, the lady's pheromones made them invisible to the substance, so as Lyra ran through the substance, the savage men were consumed by the symbiote bloom. Lyra goes to Genosha to confront this bitch for trying to have her assassinated, but Genosha triggers a gamma ray overdose in Lyra. This was a countermeasure just in case Lyra ever started to go crazy. Now, even though the component to fix the cradle has been broken, all hope is not lost as Genosha sends Lyra on a new mission. Back in present day, as Norman has Lyra bound in this machine, Norman tells Lyra he's going to torture her until he gets all the information he needs. You see, Norman is going to torture Lyra because he does believe Lyra tried to kill him, which is not necessarily true. But back at Armor HQ, they're pissed off at Norman Osborn as Osborn keeps undercutting them. The chief asks his control operator if she can still track Lyra's body heat. But earlier that day, as She-Hulk was fighting Lyra, Sentry just showed up and tossed She-Hulk into oblivion. Now, She-Hulk didn't forget that because as Sentry's being interviewed by the media, She-Hulk hits Sentry with an overhand right and puts his ass down. But back at the Dark Avengers compound, a system override has taken place as Lyra gets released from her bondages. Now, Norman Osborn is like, oh shit, why do you want to kill me? But Lyra tells him, who said I'm here to kill you? Now, the agents back at Armor finally realize why Lyra's body temperature is so high. It's not because she's angry, it's because she's in heat, as Lyra grabs Norman Osborn and proceeds to kiss him. To be continued.